All right. Okay. Speaking of universities, up next in our college fair is Toronto Metropolitan University. Toronto Metropolitan University, known as TMU, formerly known as Ryerson University, is a prominent institution located in downtown Toronto, Canada. Renowned for its commitment to innovation and applied learning, TMU offers over 125 undergraduate and graduate programs across various facilities, including arts, engineering, and management. With a diverse student body of over 48,000, TMU emphasizes experimental learning through co-ops, internships, and industry partnerships, ensuring students are well prepared for their careers. The university is also home to cutting-edge facilities and research centers, making it a hub for scholarly activity and community engagement. TMU's mission is to advance knowledge and respond to societal needs, positioning itself as a leader in higher education in Canada. Let's give it up for Mr. Dean as he welcomes us to the Toronto Metropolitan University.
Thank you, Cal, very much for your speech. It was very, very inspiring. I'm just trying to figure out my presentation right here. I'm hoping everyone is seeing my screen right now. I assume yes. Okay, so my name is Dean. I am a senior regional representative from Toronto Metropolitan University. I am based in Southeast Asia, so I'm sharing the same time zone as where you are at this point. So today we're going to talk about Toronto Metropolitan University, formerly Ryerson University. So TMU is new. TMU changed the name from Ryerson University to Toronto Metropolitan University back in April 2022, after 74 years of long history of the university history. And it's been quite new for us. Hopefully with the new name that we will be able to develop more, offer you more courses, experience as international student coming to Toronto Metropolitan University in the heart of downtown Toronto. So without further ado, I want to lead you into exactly why you should study at Toronto Metropolitan University, TMU or Toronto Met, and why choosing TMU will be the best decision of your life. So let's talk about what you don't know about TMU. Location-wise, we are located in the heart of downtown Toronto. So if you see the photo right here, you see the green space right here, along with 51 plus buildings right around the corner of the heart of downtown Toronto on Dundas Square. So remember you saw on a lot of movies Times Square of New York City, right? In Toronto, we have a similar one called Dundas Square, and TMU campus is all around that square. It means a step outside of the classroom, you'll be able to access all of these buildings, shopping centers, malls, finance district, or the CN Tower, all within 15 or 20 minutes walk from our campus. And Toronto itself is one of the most livable cities and diverse cities in the world. Actually, in top 10, also is in top 5 best cities in the world for creatives. And why it makes sense in my presentation, I will lead you into the programs offered at TMU later on. And on a daily basis, there are over 110 languages spoken in Toronto, and within the campus, there will be over 80 languages spoken. TMU is one of the large universities. As Carl mentioned before, we have around 48,000 students on campus from year one of undergrad studies until PhD. And there are over 240,000 alum worldwide who graduated from the university and are very successful at this point. For undergraduate programs, we offer over 60 programs, and there are 4,000 of international students for undergraduate programs. We have quite a handful of Filipino students coming to studies at TMU every year. And if you can see the number right here, over 88% of our students are employed within 6 months after they graduate from TMU in any of the undergraduate programs. This number is higher in some programs and in some faculties. I will be able to mention them later on as well. TMU is ranking number 1 for university-based tech incubator network in the world. It means that for the past 10 years, since 2010, we have created over 4,700 companies in the world call for $2.9 billion of investment and create over 5,000 jobs worldwide. We have a huge network of incubators, startup companies on and off campus everywhere in the world. And if you are an entrepreneur or if you are not yet, and you have an idea and you want to start your own company, coming to Toronto Met as a student, you'll be able to access all of these incubators where you'll be getting your idea developed and helped and run a company in the future as well. How do we set you up for success? All of our programs, almost 100% of our programs do offer the experiential learning, which means that will include co-op. So co-op stands for cooperative education. It means that you can work while studying with us and get paid as a full-time employee. However, remember, if you're going for co-op option, the length of study might change because if you want to declare as a co-op student, it happens for almost all universities in Canada. That if you want to declare as a co-op student, you will need to go for an extra year because there will be at least 3 terms of co-op of work placement. And during that term, you will not be studying at all, but you'll be working full-time for a company. That's why you're getting paid as a full-time employee at a company. And if you have any question about co-op, feel free to drop them in the chat box. I'll be able to answer them later on at the end of the presentation. So going back to the experiential learning, we also offer field placement, internships, practicum, lab time, or research with the researchers or professors at the university as well. So we always focus on the practice side as well as the theoretical side of studies when you study with us on campus. Here are some of the brands that our students are working at or they graduate from and then work there before they move on to another company. On average, our students earns around $36,000 per year. It means around $3,000 per month while working as a co-op student in any of the company that they're working for. On average, they will do at least 3 terms of co-op, which means 12 months of co-op terms before they can graduate. For programs, due to the time limit, I will not go into the programs, but I will mention some of the very outstanding programs at TMU. And if you are interested in any of the program, put them in the chat box and I'll be able to pick them up and talk to you more about the programs later on, as well as the admissions, how to apply as well. So there are 6 faculties at TMU that we are accepting international students for. Remember, there are 2 more. We have a medical schools opening up in fall 2025. A citizen, you can apply for law school and medical school after you get another bachelor and get a PR. Okay, for now, if you are currently based and studying in the Philippines and want to apply for any of the program, these are the faculties that we accept international students from. So for September start, we have all programs open for international and domestic students. For January start, we only have around 60 to 70% of programs open. The list will be also available on the website. For the Faculty of Arts, we offer a lot of programs that you might be interested in, including sociology, psychology, politics and governance, philosophy, international economics and finance, history, English, criminology, things like that. What's great about the Faculty of Arts is that we also have the undeclared arts, which means you can enter the first year as an undeclared arts student. For the first semester, you'll be studying the core courses for all of these 10 programs in the Faculty of Arts. From the second semester onward, when you know exactly what you go for and you say, I want to become a psychologist or a sociologist, then you declare your major at the second term of the first year. So that is a great thing about the Faculty of Arts, and then you don't know exactly what you're going to go for yet. The second popular one is the Faculty of Community Services. This is also very, very, very popular for Filipino students, especially for early childhood educations, nursing, public health, and social work. Because right now in Canada, in North America in general, there is a huge demand for nurses. And I know in the Philippines, you guys are also looking for a nursing job, which is very competitive, but also getting a higher pay compared to other jobs in the market at this point. So for nursing, TMU is one of the very, very listed school in North America accepting international students for nursing program. And when you are looking at nursing, there will be a difference between the practical nursing at diploma level and then the Bachelor of Science in Nursing at a bachelor's degree level. So at TMU, we are offering the Bachelor of Science in Nursing, after which you graduate from, you can apply and take part in the national exam before you can become a licensed or registered nurse in Canada. However, this program is very competitive. Every year, there are over 200 slots for both domestic and international students. And on average, you need to score at least 88 to 90% of your grade 12 grade before you can apply. All right. So competitive, but it's also open for international students. If you believe in your GPA, your grade range, go for it. Also, there are the other programs that you might be interested in, as I mentioned before, early childhood education, public health, social work, or nutrition and food, also popular for Southeast Asian students. Next one in line, we have the School of Engineering and Architectural Science. So the engineering school at TMU is one of the top 10 engineering schools in Canada. And we are one of the very few schools in Canada that offer aerospace engineering. A lot of our students are doing internship at Bombardier, one of the large aviation companies in Canada, very popular as well. And then we offer any kind of engineering that you can think of. For example, biomedical, chemical engineering, civil, computer, or mechanical engineering. And then one of the very few schools in Canada that offer architectural science. This is very competitive as well because beside the grade range, we also looking at portfolio, your non-academic requirements, and we are combining the three aspects of architecture, design, management, and building science into teaching. After you graduate, you can work as an architect, or a project manager, or learning more about the science of a building and become an engineer later on. For the School of Science, there will be a lot for you to choose from as well. Biomed, chemistry, computer science, popular as well. And then, of course, we do have medical physics, one of the very rare programs in Canada at this point. Going into the School of Management, we have the Ted Rogers School of Management, which is very, very popular for Southeast Asian students. Ted Rogers School of Management, or TRSM, is number one in Canada for the most entrepreneurship courses taught in any other programs in Canada. We have accounting and finance. Accounting is CPA certified. After you graduate from accounting, you can take the PAP courses and then progress to take the CPA exam to become a CPA certified. And then similar for finance, we have the CFA recognized status as well. For business management, there are 7 different majors in business management, including the marketing, human resources, real estate management, law and business, entrepreneurship, global management. For the first year of BM, you study all the courses in the same level. And from the second year onward, you'll be declaring your major, whether it's going to be one of the 7 majors that I have mentioned earlier. One of the very popular this day is business technology management. I usually say around 60 to 70% of business management and 30 to 40% of computer science. which means that you'll be able to study how to run a company along with the fact that read data, develop report, read trend analysis, market analysis, things like that. And this is very popular for Southeast Asian students at this point. Not to mention that hospitality and tourism management at a bachelor's degree level is also in demand this point for students. And last but not least, we have the retail management in the TRSM as well. The last school I want to mention today is the Grip School. Some of you might be thinking about designing, fashion, filmmaking, creative industries, right? So this is one of the very popular Grip schools in Canada. We are top schools in the world for fashion, interior design, journalism, professional communication. And then we are top 15 in the world for the film studies. We import a lot of cameras from Star Wars movie to 125 studios, labs, and research centers on our campus to teach our students. From the first day, you'll be able to see all of these cameras, beautiful equipments, and you have to learn, become an anchor, use all this equipment in making films, making shows, things like that. And not to mention, we also offering courses in acting, dancing, production, and music as well. So basically, everything you can think of, we offer them. As I mentioned earlier, for January start, there will not be a lot of programs open, and this is opening for international students only. Domestic students, they do not go into the January intake. So TMU is one of the largest universities in Canada. However, we are number 1 in Ontario and number 2 in Canada for the student services by Maclean's 2024. And we offer a lot of services for both domestics and international students. However, because you're international students, I want to mention some of these offers that we give out to international students. For example, we assist with the study permits, visas, and post-graduation work permit after you graduate from universities. And then we also do first year welcome appointments, transition support, emergency bursaries in case you need some support financially during the time you study with us. Remember that study in Canada means that you can stay up to 3 years after you graduate at the university automatically, right? And you will need a lot of support in the meantime in order to transition to your post-graduation work permit and then PR path after. So having this support will be easing the way you do your path to your PR. TMU is very popular and dynamic with athletes and recreation as well. We are home to the Bold, and we have a lot of sports team, including basketball, hockey, soccer, volleyball, and so many more. If you have a hobby or anything you want to play on our campus, you can join one of these teams or even found a new team if you want to. I have been talking about how great the university is. Now I'm talking about money, right? Money matters. Tuition fees is ranging from $35,000 to $40,000 for the academic year. This seems to increase every year a little bit from 3 to 5%. And we offer on-campus housing as well. It's going to be ranging from $8,000 to $14,000 for 8-month contract plus the meal plans. And the meal plans start from $4,800 to over $6,600 from 5 to 7 day unlimited access. And then depending on how much you spend, there'll be personal expenses from $3,200 to over $5,600, approximately $400 to $700 per month. We do offer scholarships as well. So we offer scholarship for September start and January start. September 2025 is not open yet, so we will not confirm the scholarships for September. However, there are more scholarships and the values are much more compared to the winter 2025 scholarships. For winter 2025, we offer $10,000 for 20 recipients, so you can apply for admissions and then apply for scholarships at the same time. We're looking at 85% or A or equivalent to the final admission average in your grade 12. Admissions. We'll be looking at different factors in considering whether you are eligible for admissions at TMU or not. So based on the country, based on your portfolio, if the program is requesting one, or based on your grades, we'll be able to say yes or no to your applications. For the Philippines, we're looking at the senior high school diploma, grade 12, with excellent results, including the applicable prerequisite subjects. This is for students commenced after 2017. And before that, you had to enroll in the second year of a university and score at least a B or higher in appropriate program subject prerequisites. Due to competition, this might change depending on the programs. How to apply for TMU. So on the website, you'll be able to see the programs opening or not, and then you can apply online, submit your documents, send in your English proficiency test results, and then you can check your application status on the system as well. You can apply using the TMU International Application Center, which is managed by the university. You can apply up to 3 different programs for the same application fee, which is $150. And you can apply using the OUAC, the Ontario University's Application Center. On this application center, OUAC, you can apply to multiple universities in Ontario, and you can pay the application fee accordingly, depending on how many universities, how many programs you're applying for. And you can always check your application status on the system here as well. Talking about English test results, a lot of you have asked about whether I'm studying in the Philippines and I can be with English proficiency test. And the answer is no, unfortunately. We will require one of these tests in order for you to apply and be eligible for an admission. So the most popular one is IELTS. We are looking at 6.5 overall. It doesn't have to be all above 6. And then if you don't have one of the tests and you meet one of these conditions, for example, if you study a 4-year full-time high school level program in Canada, or in a country where English is a mother tongue, and a school where English is a primary language of instruction, we'll consider to with your English proficiency. Or if you're studying at a university, we'll be looking at the 2 or 3-year diploma, non-ESL at a public college, or a 1-year full-time non-ESL at a university where English is both a language of the nation and the program at the school. If you're studying at an international school following an international curriculum, for example, AP, IB, British pattern, and have the grade A or B or 4 or 6 in these programs, then we'll be able to consider to with your English proficiency as well. So this is the list, and this is also available online on the website. In case you do not meet one of these language requirements, we'll be offer the English proficiency courses at ELI, which is our English Language Institute at TMU, starting from IELTS 5.0, equivalent to Duolingo 80 to 90. So in short, why you should study at TMU? We are top 1 in the world for university-based tech incubator. entrepreneurship spirit at TMU is really, really high. 95% of our programs do offer the experiential learning, and we have students from 146 countries. Number one in Ontario, number two in Canada for student services, and you can exchange abroad to 160 plus partner universities worldwide while studying at TMU. So, if you want to learn more about TMU, scan the barcode on your screen, and that will lead you to a form, and you'll be able to get the newsletters and updates from TMU. And you can get also in contact with me at this mailing address. The email is at seasia@torontomu.ca. And I'm going to be giving you the sign up code again in case you want to scan the code and sign up to get our newsletter. All right. So I just want the presentation to be short and concise. And if you have any question, feel free to put them in the chat box or can ask me directly as well.
All right. Thank you so much again to Toronto Metropolitan University for providing your valuable time to speaking in our conference today. If you guys have any questions for this university, as mentioned by Mr. Dean, please kindly unmute or use the chat box below. Again, we would like to give thanks to the event sponsors, LIMS Review Center, AUG Student Services, and AECC Study Abroad Consultant. So we'll give like 1 or 2 minutes for that participants to drop questions in the chat box if they have any. If you're shy, you could just directly send the questions to either me or Mr. Dean. We'll start the question and answer portion at 9:34. One more thing, if you're interested in hearing from Toronto Metropolitan University or any other university so far in the college fair, please fill up this post-college fair form. If you want to hear more from the universities, especially Toronto Metropolitan University, you can answer this form and we will add your emails to the university's mailing list. All right? Okay, so we'll just wait for a few more questions. All right, I think we can start now. So I have a question here. If I will be having an OSSD, am I considered an Ontario student or still international student since I'm Filipino? This is in basis for tuition and fees.
Good question. So OSSD student can be international unless you have a PR or a citizenship, then you are an international student and you pay the tuition fees for international students. Because even with OSSD students in Canada, in Toronto, they will be paying international student fees unless they are a PR.
All right, thank you so much for answering this question. I have another question here. It says, does TMU have full ride scholarships for international students?
Good question. So yes, so the answer is no. We have partial scholarships only, and we have been receiving a lot of questions on these full ride scholarships. However, we do not at this point. So the highest scholarships that we have had so far is the $40,000 for 4 years, $10,000 a year. And it is open for fall 2025. It's not confirmed yet. However, you can try to apply for that scholarship. Every year, there will be 12 recipients worldwide.
All right, thank you so much for answering this question. I have another question here. It asks, hi, I would like to ask this question. Do college admissions evaluators typically prefer applicants who are well-rounded or those who show a high level of expertise in a specific field?
Great question. So almost all Canadian universities are based their admissions on the grade range, right? So we're looking at your academic performance only, except for those programs that I have mentioned in my presentations, like architectural science, fashion, design, film studies. Those will require non-academic requirements. For example, portfolio, essays, reference, interview, or auditions, right? If you are applying for, say, engineering, sciences, or businesses, you can only use your grades in your grade 12 report card to apply.
All right. Thank you very much. I received another question. So, since Toronto Metropolitan University is located in Canada's largest city, what opportunities does the university provide when it comes to graduate employability, considering that the university is located in the biggest city in Canada?
Right, good question. So, with opportunities come challenges, right? We are looking at Toronto. So, Toronto is the largest city, the second biggest finance centers in North America after New York, and TMU is located in the heart of downtown Toronto. You have access to all of these finance districts, big four companies, tech guys, right? And we are working with a lot of employers, working with a lot of companies to send our students to when you're looking for internships or co-op opportunities. However, since there are a lot of other universities in Toronto, a lot with the fact that the increase in number of immigrants, they'll be competitive to get jobs in Toronto, especially. However, at TMU, we have the Co-op Center. We have the Career Center along with ISS, International Student Support, which help you with the fact that you can get supported in your CV, resume building, mock interview, connected with the employers when you in need. We have also the portal of careers where you can apply to the careers that you see online as well.
All right, thank you very much. Another question I received is there a strong Filipino community within the university that could help students feel at home? As you may know that the majority demographic of Camp Philippines is Filipino students, and for students who intend to apply to Canada, to the university rather, is there going to be a strong Filipino community that could help them assimilate?
Yes, so we do have a club, an organization for Filipino students on campus with us. And also there is a strong presence of Filipino community in downtown Toronto. You cannot miss Jollibee, a Filipino brand, is right there on our campus, and it's cross from the street on SLC, the Study Learning Center at TMU. And there are also monthly activities for students from Southeast Asia, from Vietnam, Filipinos, Indonesia on campus as well. So you will not miss home. You can find anything that you miss at home in the heart of downtown Toronto. So don't worry about that.
All right, thank you. I received another question. It says, as an international student, can I work part-time off campus? If yes, how many hours?
Good question. So yes, you can totally work part-time on campus or off campus. So you can work 20 hours a week during your study terms and during the scheduled breaks, including the winter break or the summer break, you can work full-time, so up to 40 hours a week. And also, if you have read the news recently, the government has just announced a change in this policy. So they say students can work up to 48 hours per 2 weeks. So they increase the number of hours you can work for 2 weeks, as long as it doesn't affect your studies and your grades on school.
All right, I just like to follow that up with like, what are these part-time? Is there any work on part-time work opportunities on campus, and how does this work?
Absolutely, yes. Good question. So we have a lot of positions open on campus, and we are prioritizing that for both domestic students and international students. For international students, I have a lot of Vietnamese students and Filipino students applying for the student ambassadors positions on campus, and they are very well paid. And what they do is they taking tours for prospective students on campus, talking to international students in those webinars like this, and then they will be taking presentation, taking care of the recruitment, answering emails, things like that. Or they have other positions in the library, in the labs, in the cafe, things like that. So on campus, there will be a lot of opportunities for you. And as I mentioned earlier, we have a portal of careers. You can apply for jobs opening on this portal.
All right, thank you. Another question that I have received is so the university is located in Toronto, right? What's it
Yeah.
like living in the area where the university is located? So what's life like outside of the university and within downtown Toronto?
Good question. So that would TMU is not a traditional campus. We are top 10 most beautiful campuses in Canada, not because of the walls or the campus of the green space, but because of the building structures and the design. It is very chic, and TMU is part of the city, and the city is part of TMU. So there will be 51 plus buildings around the downtown, the heart of downtown Toronto. It means that students can access everywhere in the city, but the people from outside, they can walk across the campus. They cannot enter the buildings without a card. So it's safe. There will be policemen walking 24/7 on campus. However, remember, it is the heart of downtown Toronto. It's very see shopping malls getting packed every day. So we also have safety measurements giving out to students on the first day of their school every year, and reminders on their newsletters as well. And we have an app called Walk Safe. If you feel that at some times at night, for example, after curfew at 11, you feel that
Mr. Dean, I think your white signal
to
is
go with you.
poor.
And that is something that we're very proud of. And it happens before that a lot of students felt unsafe, like at the exam period. They study in the library at very late at night. So they really wanted someone to walk with them back to the campus. And it happens, and we support them as well. And outside of campus, of course, there will be a lot of activities for you to do, from hiking up north if you go outside of Toronto, or you want to go within the city. There'll be shopping malls, restaurants, places like playgrounds, parks for you to do all of these activities. So there will not be any day alike in Toronto.
All right, thank you. Have another question here. What are the opportunities for the student outside of the classroom within the university? So, as we all know, academic student life in college is not just about academics. So, what are the opportunities for students who in TMU outside of the academics?
Good question. So yes, I have talked about co-op, internships, practicum, lab time. 95% of our programs do offer this experiential learning. So if your program's offering co-op, you can apply for co-op. Or if you want to go for internship, you can apply for internship under the supervision or the support of ISS and the Career and Co-op Center. And then if you want to do part-time work, like the previous question, you can also do that on and off campus. So all of this internship, practicum, lab time, research opportunities are attached to your program, depending on what kind of programs you're doing. For example, I have students studying aerospace engineering, and she is doing her internship in her third year at Bombardier, one of the large aviation companies in Canada.
All right. So, are there any more questions for Mr. Dean? Feel free to send questions in the chat or in direct messages to me or Mr. Dean, and Mr. Dean will be happy to answer. I'll give you 2 more minutes. All right, since I've not received any more questions, we could end the session as early as this one. So, once again, if I'll post the link to the post-college fair form, you could check it out here. I recommend answering it if you want to be on the mailing list of the universities. So, once again, thank you so much, Mr. Dean, for devoting your time to sharing information to Camp Philippines about your university and to interested students. So thank you, everyone, and we can end the session here.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
All right, so this breakout room will be done. The next college will be taking place at 10 p.m. I'll just stop recording.